Hello everyone, I'm Ferdi Salvador. Join us in unlocking the tricks of the trade here on Trade Talks. Let's get down to business. Kaye Tinga took the helm of the cultural center of the Philippines last year. But despite the challenging task, she is still able to juggle her professional and philanthropical endeavors with her family life as well as her passions for design and travel. Let's find out how the Cultural Center of the Philippines stays relevant in the digital age. CCP President Kaye Tinga joins us here in the studio. Good morning, Kaye.
Hi, Ferdi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the privilege of having to have a chat with you. It's so exciting. I mean, a lot of us, know you as one of the faces, obviously, of the Red Charity Gala, W17, the loving wife of former Mayor Ferdi Tinga, and of course, the mother to very talented children.
Thank you.
Then, all of a sudden, last year, you got projected into the national scene by becoming the CCP president. How did this come about?
Oh, that's actually a very interesting story, and yet I feel that everything I've done prior to that has prepared me for this role, which is, as wife of mayor, you're always getting involved in outreach as well as organizing events, organizing meetings, which is actually a big part of the job. And then with Red Charity Gala, I was able to work with a lot of the most talented designers, as with W17, when we deal with the best artisans of the country constantly. And I think this has really prepared me for this.
Were you scared to take on the role?
Yes, initially, I assumed that I was just going to be part of the Board of Trustees, which it's very exciting. Wrong. Exactly, wrong.
And then what drew you to this role?
As a child, going to school, I went to Saint School with my dad driving. Every day would pass the CCP.
Yes, because Saint School was in Manila.
Yes, every day we had to pass through CCP, and I would always look, they had this huge billboard, if you remembered before, and every time you pass, it's something different. Ballet, you had like some famous pianists I've never heard of, but I still loved looking at what people were, I would wonder what people were wearing, what people would do.
Because it looks so grand.
Exactly, that building is really iconic.
Yes.
And so, when I was old enough, I started attending, like ballet or plays. And who would have known from here to there?
Yeah, you never know. But this is
know.
such a huge role because, of course, culture and the arts is endemic to our genealogy. It's a Filipino trait, just like, of course, a lot of cultures around the world. But this one specifically, because the CCP has been a centerpiece when it was built 50 years ago, diba? To bring out the best of the Philippines and what it can offer. Ballet, thespian activities, music, and the like, and even, state visits, diba?
Exactly, correct.
So, coming to this role, and obviously, you're close right now because you're doing renovations. It's become very daunting. And how have you encapsulated the priorities of the CCP for the 12 months you've been the president?
I'm glad you asked that because, when the CCP opened, it was really the cornerstone of arts and culture, not only in the country, but I would say the whole of Asia. And people would come here and look at us as a model for artistic and performing activities. But in recent years, clearly, there hasn't been as much interest, especially in the public sector.
Why?
A lot of, the way that we're emphasizing STEM, which is very important, like math, sciences, reading, writing. This is very important. But sometimes we also have to look at the importance of arts education in the country. And that's really taken a back seat. So I'm very happy with this administration because of the realization of the importance role of arts and culture in the country and arts education. You know, this is actually a passion of mine, you know, how to push arts education more. You know, nowadays, we always say fake news, especially now with AI. Fake news is everywhere. You don't know what to believe anymore.
Correct.
But with the proper education, you're able to discern. And how do you discern? You know, we say that 98% of Filipinos are literate. But in fact, when they did actual studies, only 70% are functionally literate, meaning they can read, write, and comprehend. So 30% are actually can read and write, but can't actually comprehend and analyze because we do lack that kind of analysis. Maybe it wasn't introduced at an early enough age, but of course it's not too late because remember when we were young, we'd study art.
35 years ago.
Yeah, like 20 years ago when we were in kinder.
Yes.
When we studied art, it teaches us, like, remember we do like painting, like paint and just splash and then it becomes art.
Yeah.
And then you realize not everything is what it seems.
Yes.
Or, you know, I love this line in what's that movie, Clueless. You know, it's like, oh, she's a Monet.
Yes.
From afar, she's cute, but up close, she's a mess. That's what I mean. If you understand art, you'll see that. And the same when we discern news. So you read something, you don't automatically accept it. That's why we need arts education. It's a form of mental training to help you analyze and comprehend, and zero stakes.
Yeah, I'm not even going to ask you if the CCP is like a Monet, okay? Because
no,
it's
we're not.
unfair. It's unfair. However, how do you describe your type of governance with the CCP? I mean, it's a government agency.
Yes, 100%. We're a government agency. We follow government rules. We're a government-owned and controlled corporation, what you call a GOCC. But at the same time, we're also an artistic organization. So you have to really make sure that both work because I work with like 99% of the people in CCP are creatives. So the ideas are just free flowing and I really enjoy working with them.
How do you compartmentalize that? How do you help them? Okay, guys, let's bring you back in. Okay, we also have a business to run here.
Correct. We need to be financially viable.
Yes.
Because we only get so much subsidies.
How much is your subsidy per year?
About 350 to 400 a year.
It sounds like a big amount, but well, for arts and culture, that's really nothing. I mean, it can be comparable to a small municipality's annual budget.
Yes.
Not that we're comparing because I was going to tell you, your hashtag, why do you need to choose?
Yes.
Right? Because
we can have both.
And not only that, you can have education, health, the environment, all of that. And of course, the arts and the culture, because that's very important, right?
Yes.
But so that type of governance, you're always with creatives.
Yes.
How do you reel them in and say, okay, team, we need to make the CCP
practical choices.
Practical choices. How do you deal with that?
Well, I guess my background also in business also helps me because, I have a store, I have a showroom, and you want it all.
Yes.
I want everything beautiful, but you realize you have to make choices, and you have to make hard choices because it's like you can't choose which child you love more. It's the same with our programs. All are important, but we have to choose which are the most culturally relevant, which are the most commercially relevant, and that is the basis of how we program CCP.
Yes, but how are you keeping CCP relevant in the arts and the cultural world?
Nowadays, especially with changes in technology.
AI, yeah.
Yes, AI, and also, social media. We realize, and this has been going on for a long time, but now we're really fast-tracking, really the move to more digital platform.
Are you reaching out to more grassroots?
Yes.
The grassroots level more than, because of course the CCP, there's like me, when I see the CCP, I think it's a building. It's a beautiful building.
Yes.
But I don't know what's going on inside.
Yes.
It's the same perhaps view of a lot of Filipinos when they pass by Rojas Boulevard
Yes.
and they see the CCP. Wait, that's only for the elite, right?
Yes.
Are you reaching down to the grassroots level?
I love your question because even myself, I always saw CCP as this iconic landmark, and which is not accessible, but actually CCP is a living institution. And in a way, you know what they say, every challenge is an opportunity. The fact that we're close forces us to even double down on our outreach programs. So we're even in more places.
Like what are your outreach programs?
Like we have, I guess it's not as known as our performances,
Yes.
but we have a lot of arts education programs. This is all over the country. We even have we have an international trade market
See,
for our performers.
we don't know that.
Yes.
So I'm glad you're actually putting that out here because but hang on. This is very important.
Yes.
But Kay,
Yes.
let's take a quick break because this is very important to me. Trade Talks will be right back. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us. You're back on Trade Talks. We continue our conversation with Kaye Tinga, the president of the Cultural Center of the Philippines. Before the gap, Kay, we were talking about your outreach programs that none of us know. So, and you said you've got an international program,
Yes.
you've got programs for culture and the arts around the Philippines. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, one of the cornerstones of the CCP's program is our orchestra, the Philippine Philharmonic
Yes.
Orchestra. Since, which has always been active in outreach programs, but now because of the lack of a theater, we've become even more active. So we perform all over the country, Tacloban.
So you have a
Bukidnon.
caravan.
We have a caravan, and it's really important because orchestra, like maybe our building has always been looked at as elite, when in fact, it's not. Orchestra is for orchestral music. The symphony is for everybody. And if one day I'll invite you, if you join us, the orchestra performs in a covered court, for instance, in Binyan.
I will go.
Yes, and you know what?
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we perform, we start with a program of classical music, and later on we move to more contemporary music, and then later on OPM, and then they're doing Ben and Ben, and people are dancing. Yeah,
But that's great, Kay,
Yes.
because it doesn't widen the gap
Yes.
between the regular Filipino and this notion of an elitist type
Yes.
of music and
Yes.
performance. I love that.
it makes it so accessible to everyone.
Yes, and within your working budget, that's what you take out of
Yes.
that.
Yes, we do that. We're lucky, we have helped some senators or congressmen who especially those who are particularly into the arts, like Senator Zubiri
Yes.
has invited us to go to Cagayan de Oro and Bukidnon because they know, I think, Senator Lauren Milgarda is another one, because they understand the value of arts and exposing the Filipino to this kind of music. It will really elevate
That's amazing,
all of
Kay,
us.
because even if you inspire one child or one individual,
I love
it's
that.
all worth it.
Yes.
It's worth the 300 million.
We do this, don't know if you're familiar, the Pasinaya. So it's a festival every, first quarter of the year. So it's free. It's free for all. You pay what you can. And we have brief programs in all the programs that the CCP does. There's dance, there's indigenous dance, there's ballet, there's orchestra, there's choir, so theater, so snippets, so it's free, so everyone can see, hey, maybe that's something, I'd be interested in. And when you were talking about it to inspire one person, the name escapes me now, but one Filipino has won an award in conducting in the United States, one of the most prestigious awards. Just last year, he said he got inspired to be a conductor when he attended Pasinaya.
You see?
Yeah, just one. It's such an accomplishment already.
Yes. That's amazing. And this is the way you preserve and promote the arts and the culture,
Yes.
arts and culture of the Filipinos, right? Because we are talented.
Yes.
And we are owed that space globally,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But let's talk about the renovation
Yes.
of the CCP because
Yes.
this is quite important to you, especially
Very.
with your administration. The CCP, not a lot of people know, has not been renovated since it opened its
Yeah.
doors 50 years ago.
Yes.
How is this coming along and why did you want to renovate?
Initially, because the CCP was inaugurated in 1969, when we started, it was just over 50 years.
Over 50 years, yeah.
When the renovation started, at first it was like to fix leaks, to fix this and that, cosmetic changes and minor repairs. But like any house that's being renovated, the more you open, the more you realize so much has to be done. Like our roof, we thought we could just patch it up, but once the construction started, you saw that, oh, no, it cannot be. We have to redo it. So that's why it became longer and longer. Hopefully, we're already doing the interiors. So we are looking to open by September of 2026 when we celebrate our anniversary.
That is super exciting. But
I
of
know.
course, with that, costs build up,
Yes,
right?
yes.
How, aside from the government allocation to the budget annually, how are you also trying to get more funding to be able to reach that opening date in September?
We are reaching out now to private individuals and corporations because we know that a lot of people, a lot of companies are very interested also in the whole in developing arts and culture because this is for now and for future generations. So we are reaching out to them to make them a part of the CCP. You know, we need to refurbish the lobby, for instance. So we are approaching certain corporations to help us with that.
Yeah, in fact, you had a fashion show.
Yes, we have.
I think about 2-3 months ago or something like that. Am I correct?
This Turnocon.
Yes,
that's,
Turnocon. Yeah, by the Bench Group with
Yes,
Ben
yes.
Chan. I mean,
Ben
Ben is also a stalwart for arts and culture.
Yes.
So I didn't realize then that you were renovating.
Yeah, that's why PICC instead of CCP.
Okay. So which is also part of your mandate?
No, PICC is independent from
As well.
the cultural center. Yes.
Okay, now I understand. Excuse me for being
No,
ignorant about
actually,
that.
it's very confusing also.
So when you open in September, what programs are you thinking or putting together to make sure it's a big bang of an opening?
We have already started preparing a lineup, and you will see the best of Philippine artists, both here and abroad. So we're talking about Filipinos who've excelled abroad. Of course, Cecilica,
Of
Duena
course, how can you-
Orieta,
Yes.
and
Lea Salonga.
Michelle Mariposa, an award-winning soprano. So even those who are not maybe as renowned as Cecilica, we are bringing them home. And aside from that, because we do want to be the regional hub of performing arts, we are inviting the best from all over the world. The way before, when we had Van Cliburn, Margot Fontaine,
Yes.
that's the heyday of the CCP. That's what we want to bring back.
So am I going to see a Kaye Tinga golden era?
We were going to see a rebirthing of the cultural center of the Philippines.
But you're talking about, of course, social media and the like earlier.
Yes.
How are you incorporating new technology, AI, into the gamut of the CCP to make it more relevant?
I think the digital platforms are crucial especially to appeal to younger people, because we do want to expand our audiences. It's very important to educate and to expand audiences. And the best way is really social media.
Are you going to be like, CCP live on YouTube like that?
Yeah, we will have CCP Online, which will feature, we're on beta phase, so limited number.
Did you announce this before? No, not yet.
No, not yet.
So I'm breaking
Yeah.
news. CCP will be online.
So you will see some of our best performances, even very, very old performances. If you'd want to see, that will be available. And then we're in beta now,
Yes.
so we're just working on it. But by the end of the year, it will be available to the public.
Do you also envision something like the Kennedy Awards in the U.S.
We
as for
actually
CCP?
have the Gawad CCP, but like you were saying, I think we need to increase public awareness of this. This is very similar to the Order of National Artists, which CCP is also a part of. But we have our own Gawad CCP, which honors artists in different fields.
Okay, 3 to 5 years,
Yes.
what's the main goal of Kaye Tinga as president of CCP?
Oh, CCP, people from all over the world will come to the Philippines to watch performances because we will be known as the best place to watch. You know, the way people would go to Singapore to watch Taylor
Yes,
Swift.
sir.
But if you want, Wynton Marsalis,
Yeah.
jazz, you want indigenous dances, you want ballet.
So wait,
go
I'm
to the
going to ask
Philippines.
you, what is your dream collaboration for CCP?
Wow. Okay. Wow. I have so many in mind.
Top 5.
But top 5, well, one of my dreams is Silicad is now performing with Wynton Marsalis and the Lincoln Center Band in the U.S. So we would like to see that here. I think that would be amazing.
What about a Filipino artist that lives in the Philippines? Who do you want to put there as a performer?
Because, we have done some kind of collaborations where we have the music of national artist Ryan Cabiabiab
Yes.
together with national artist Alice Reyes dance
For
group.
dance, yes.
And then the theme is the work of a national artist. So we would like to come up with something like that, an original opera or an original ballet that will combine all these elements. I think that would be very attractive to audiences. And that also highlights the best Filipinos on different artistic fields.
All right, fast questions,
Oh,
my
no.
dear. Your worst investment?
Oh my God. Fashion.
You're
Sorry.
one of Manila's best dressed. It's not the bad investment. At least for me. I like what I see.
Thank you.
Paid for.
Paid for. Okay, thank you.
Your best investment?
Best investment, this is just personal, but giving up work while my children are small. I know this is probably
You're in the
a
finance
hot take.
world.
Yes,
Yes.
it's probably a hot take. Not everyone will approve, but I enjoyed it. I think it benefited my children. But when the time came, I also went back to working full time because I think it's also important for my children to see that I'm working and also contributing to the public good.
I think they know that their mother is a powerhouse. What about your favorite mistake?
Ooh, oh my God.
And don't say Ferdi Tinga.
Not a mistake. Oh my God, favorite mistake. Example,
I'm not gonna help you out with this.
oh my God, this is tough. Okay, I guess, overextending myself, thinking that I'm Superwoman,
Yes.
and then getting sick in the process.
Oh no. Okay. Well, thank you so much for bringing light about the CCP and,
Thank you for
and
having me.
how accessible it is.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kay, and we wish you more power. And we're looking forward to the opening and your dream collaborations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is it for today's show. I'm Ferdi Salvador. Catch the Bilyonaryo News channel on Free TV channel 31 and on cable via Cignal channel 24. Thanks for watching the Bilyonaryo News channel, always on top.